Welcome, I'm Hilary Dawn Herrera, and today we're going to use OPI Spa Complete Disinfecting System, and I'm going to show you how to properly disinfect your tools. So first things first, this is what comes with your gallon of OPI Spa Complete, and this is a concentrate. So we've got our concentrate. We also have a pre-measured pump, which is amazing, that goes inside here. That is 1 ounce. It explains that over here in your little instructions you get that come in multiple languages. I love this, front and back. So find your language and you can follow along. One thing to note is if you lose this card, the information and instructions is always on your label to your concentrate. And then also a little measuring cup in case you are filling smaller containers. So first things first, let's talk about what we are disinfecting in the salon. This is not something that's just for state boards. This is something that's meant to be used over and over and over. The first one is surfaces, and that would be anything like this surface, your chairs, your door handles, anything you touch that's on your desk throughout your service needs to be cleaned and then disinfected. Next thing is your tools. Okay, so that would be, of course, like our pushers, our scissors, our nippers, anything that's non-porous that is not just one-time use. And then, of course, we've got our petty situation. So whether that's a spa or a tub, we need to clean and disinfect. So there's a few things I want to touch on really quickly. What is cleaning? Cleaning is removing debris. And often we'll do that with a soap and water situation. I'll bring this over and show you where you might want to not only soak them, say in soap and water, but you also want to maybe use a wire brush to make sure you're removing debris and scrubbing off any oils, full submersion, and getting everything super cleaned, okay? That's so that our disinfectant can actually make contact, open things up, get the full motion here. We want everything to make contact with our disinfectant. When it has oils on there or debris, dust, hair, skin cells, the disinfectant can't touch our surface. So that's really, really important. Once we've cleaned our tools, we're gonna set them over to the side and we're gonna dry them. And then we are ready to disinfect. So disinfecting. This is going to, or disinfection, it's gonna be our viruses. It's gonna be our bacteria. It's gonna be fungus, mold, and this OPI Spa Complete is proven to not only kill all of that, but including proven effective against COVID-19, which is awesome. So, what do we do for proper disinfection? Our tools are now clean, our surface we've wiped down from debris, but let's mix our disinfectant. Let's do that together here. The easiest way to prepare your disinfectant is to prepare a gallon, okay? So this is a 1 gallon jug, and if you are doing surfaces versus your tools, it's a little bit different. So for our surfaces, you're going to want a 1 ounce of your disinfectant to a gallon of water. Let's talk about how much a gallon is. We're gonna do a little bit of math together, and I promise you will thank me later. So a gallon is 128 ounces. And you're supposed to do for surfaces 1 ounce of the OPI Spa Complete. We'll put SC. Okay. Now, what if you're mixing a smaller amount? What if you're gonna mix, for example, I grabbed this spray bottle and it's 32 ounces. Well, we'll just do a little bit of math together. It'll be just fine. So easiest way for me to do this is just divide things in half. So 64 ounces. And this is water, clean water. So that would be a 1/2 ounce of OPI Spa Complete. We already decided my spray bottle was actually 32, and luckily enough, if we go one step more and divide that in half, 32 ounces, and divide this in half is 1/4 of an ounce of Spa Complete. Well, that works for me. And this is why getting this extra little cup is so helpful. These are ounces. There's 2 ounces, 1 ounce, 1.5, half. There's a 1/4. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up to this 1/4 line of our Spa Complete disinfectant. And because we're gonna do surfaces first, I'm gonna set our jug to the side. I already filled our 32 ounces of our spray bottle up to the line it needs, and it is ready for us. So I'm just gonna take that lid off. We're going with 32 ounces, so we need a 1/4 ounce. And I'm gonna fill up to my 4 ounce line. It's just that little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And it's not gonna be heavily colored. What I find is we sometimes feel like we want to see color with our disinfectant, and that's not the point of disinfectant. We're gonna mix this gently for a minute. The point of the disinfectant is to actually kill all the pathogens we need killed, right? So you will find the concentrate will have color to it, but often once you mix things, you can see it's a little bubbly now because it's mixing, you're not gonna have a ton of color. So once you have your surface clean, so there's no debris on it, and it's the same concept as your tools, this is going to allow your disinfectant to fully touch the surface so it can kill everything for you. What is contact time? Contact time is how long something remains wet. I'm gonna fully get it wet. And you can see it's nice and shiny and wet. And if I wanted to, I could take another towel and like distribute it, make sure everything's nice and covered and soaking wet. And once everything is covered and soaking wet, we can start our timer for contact time. This needs to remain wet for a total of 10 minutes, soaking wet, to fully kill everything it says. Now, why? Why is that? As I've gone through some training with different national brands and licensing departments and everything, we had somebody come and explain this, and it was so interesting. They line up a bunch of Petri dishes when they're doing all their testing for disinfectant. And they, of course, treat all the different viruses and bacteria and fungus and molds, and everything's in these Petri dishes. They have found that maybe at 3 minutes, this is killed. Maybe at 5.5 minutes, we finally have killed this. It's all the way until a 10-minute mark before everything is killed that needs to be killed. If this dries beforehand and it's not the full 10 minutes of wet, we're not gonna get the full kill that we need. Once it is fully finished doing its job, we're going to wipe the surface dry with a clean, dry towel. And now you have a surface that is disinfected, hospital grade, ready to be worked on. That's our surfaces. Now, what if we're gonna do our tool disinfection? Okay, so something you want to consider when doing your tool disinfection, and remember we have our clean tools over here that we got all clean and ready, is you want something that will allow your tools to fully submerge. So I like this because it's a full tray they sit in, it goes all the way in. There's also like the tower, glass towers, those are great. Some people will even use like what I use for clean dry storage, just a bin that they can fill fully and fully submerge. What doesn't work is say a little jar filled up and the tools put in and the handles stick out. That doesn't count because these handles are what we have touched while we're touching other people's skin and anatomy, and it can transfer bacteria and everything onto this. So it needs to be able to go all the way in, fully covered, or all the way in, fully covered with our disinfectant, okay? I choose a tray. You can choose anything that fully submerges all your tools. It's a little bit different when it comes to our tools. We're gonna go a little bit higher concentration. So I already have a gallon, okay? And I've actually already labeled it disinfectant. What we want for mixing our disinfectant, our OPI Spa Complete with tools, is a ratio of 2 fluid ounces per gallon. So it's a little more concentrated. If you wanted to, you could just pour it to the 2 ounce line right there. This pump is pre-measured to 1 ounce. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 1 full pump, 2 full pumps. There we go. I'm letting it finish draining. Perfect. And then because it's nice and full, I'm just gonna carefully cap, and it's a gentle mix, just a gentle rock, so that you're not creating tons of foam, but everything gets distributed inside your gallon. I love the ones that have the valve at the bottom that you can set up on a shelf then and just distribute into your tray every single day. When you come into work every day, you have already emptied your disinfectant from the day before. Every single day you change your disinfectant. And if partway through the day you notice your disinfectant's getting cloudy, then you need to change it again. Now, sometimes people like to just mix it into here. If you're gonna just mix it into, say, your container versus a gallon, you just need to do that same math we did, but with 2 ounces of disinfectant. So should we do that together really quickly? Over here is our gallon, 128 ounces. Whoa, I struggled there for a second to make sure I was doing that right. This is water. And this is now 2 ounces of OPI Spa Complete. Okay, you just need to know how much water fits into your container. I happen to know mine is 16 ounces. How I know that is I just went and got a measuring cup and I filled this up how I wanted to, and then I poured just water into this and measured where it landed, and it landed at 16 ounces. So here we go. We're gonna divide it in half again. So 64 ounces is going to equal, divide in half, 1 ounce. 32 and half again ounces is gonna equal a half an ounce of the OPI Spa Complete, okay? And then we know mine's 16, which is perfect because I divide this in half again, and it's 16 ounces of water equal to 1/4 of an ounce of my OPI Spa Complete. So again, if I wanted to, I could very easily fill water up to 16 ounces, pour it in here, put my Spa Complete to 1/4 of an ounce and put that in there, and I'm good for the day. Or you can pre-mix it in the gallon. Both are wonderful options. Because we've already pre-mixed this though, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour it in. Perfect. And I'm gonna test it to make sure that basket goes all the way in. Yep. And the disinfectant comes up and above. One really quick thing to note, don't leave this open. You'll cross-contaminate. So cap and close that, set that up in the cool, dark place, away from everything so it stays nice. And then let's disinfect. Our tools have already been cleaned of debris, so they're gonna go in.